welcome back to Heroes and Villains HQ. Today I have my first ever LEGO Star Wars review for this channel. We're going to take a look at set 75365, Yavin 4 Rebel Base. Thought this was a perfect one to start off with because of the recent release of Andor Season 2. So we're going to cut to a time lapse and then jump into the in-depth review. Before we take a look at the set itself, I want to start with the box. On the front here, you can see the quick facts about the set. It is for ages 8 and up. Set 75365, Yavin 4 Rebel Base, with a total of 1,066 pieces. Total of 12 minifigures, including 10 actual LEGO figures and 2 astromech droids. And the front of the box displays Darth Vader in the bottom left, as well as the facade of the Yavin 4 Rebel Base and the Y-Wing flying above, and some of the minifigures scattered throughout the landscape. The back of the box displays the interior of the Yavin 4 Rebel Base, totaling up about 6 rooms, as well as the minifigures interacting with them. You can see some of the play functions, such as the Scout Tower, as well as the missiles on the Y-Wing, the stud shooters within the set, and some of the special rooms like the ceremony at the end of Episode 4, A New Hope. We're going to take a look at each one of these rooms individually during the review, but this is what you can find on the back of the box. Okay, now let's take a look at this set. We're going to start with the smaller builds first and work our way up to the Rebel Base. And then we'll take a look at the minifigures before I give my final thoughts on the value and if you should buy it. So I'm going to go ahead and move these minifigures out of the way. And then let's take a look at these builds. So first, starting with the smallest things, you have these two 4-piece little landing lights, I think is what they're supposed to be for the Y-Wing. The maintenance crew can come in and take those away as the Y-Wing is flying off. It's a total of 8 pieces, nothing crazy. Next up, staircase to get up to the Y-Wing. You can see that it aligns perfectly for the cockpit. Again, really small build, nothing crazy. I think it does its job. This is one of my favorite parts of the set. It's the maintenance cart. We see this in Episode 4, A New Hope. You take a look at the maintenance driver as they're on top of it. Perfect representation of the cart in Episode 4. It also has an open hatch here for some storage. Currently, there is a wrench inside of it. I think this is awesome. A really great build. Next up are the landscape. As most people think, these are really bad. There's no two ways about it. This is just to increase the piece count. You can see there's really nothing of substance here. At least with this tree, you're getting the Scout Tower that can be raised up and down, which I think is great, and we see that very prominently in the original trilogy. But the pieces they use are these really large molded pieces to give the tree trunk, but then there's really nothing in terms of leaves on it. I think this is because of the 8+ rating. They decided not to go with some massively detailed tree, also to keep the piece count low. But at this point, I feel like given the price of the set being $170, this needed to be more substantial. But that's the tree side build. Next up, we have the Y-Wing. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think given the scale of the Rebel Base, this looks really good. I think it scales well with the base. It's definitely going to look off in comparison to the rest of the Starship builds, even the downscaled X-Wings we've gotten over the last few years. This is still significantly smaller than those. So it's not bad. I think for a kid, this is great. but for a collector and for display value, it's not the best. You can also see I've removed the flick fire, or not the flick fire, the spring loaded shooters from the Y Wing because it just looks better without them. So it's an okay build. I think it looks really detailed for what it is, but nothing to write home about. Okay, now let's take a look at the base. So you can see the facade captures the look and feel of Yavin very, very well. The dark brown, the grass all over, I think looks great. And really, I have no complaints with the look and feel of the base itself. On the front here, these two side flaps open up to give you access into the inside of the base here. You get your fingers in there. Same with this side. So that's great that it allows that function while also staying enclosed to give you the angle of the base. On the bottom, as you saw at the beginning, this is where the Y-wing can slot in and make it look like it's landed within the base. Looks great. Now taking or sliding the base around, let's take a look at the interior of it. The really cool functionality is the base completely separates. So if you wanted to play with certain areas at a time, you can. So for the purpose of the review, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at these one by one. So this piece first. On the bottom here, you can see this is a maintenance bay. Has a really nice sticker there showing that the engine of the Y-Wing needs to be worked on. And then you just got a gun rack in the back, as well as a staircase up to the briefing room, where Dodonna gives the briefing on how to destroy the Death Star and how you need to drop it into the exhaust vent. A couple of seats there for the pilots, control panel stickered, and then this really awesome sticker with the Rebel logo. This piece at the bottom again has another gun rack in the back. It has some storage with some thermal detonators, and then at the bottom there is a piece of coaxium. Definitely interesting to store detonators and coaxium in the same area, but that's what's inside there. And then at the top here is the control room where the rebel leaders are standing by until Luke destroys the Death Star, waiting there. Imminent doom. And then this is a really great sticker. Then taking a look at the main piece here. This area is a gunner section. It has two stickers on either side, right there and there. And then in the section here is a sliding it back and forth, and you can see on the front the two turrets move in tandem. So I think that looks really great. And then you have the stud shooters right there to shoot off at any Imperial stormtroopers. And then lastly, at the top here, you have the classic ceremony room where you can go ahead and place the heroes as they receive their medals. And I think that looks really good. And what's great is this section comes right off again. So as a collector, if you wanted to set this up with all the figures and display this on your desk just to have the Yavin ceremony, I think that's a really good option. Okay, now I want to go down the list, take a look at all 12 minifigures, and which ones are new and exclusive and which ones are returning from a previous set. So first, let's take a look at the hero, Luke Skywalker. He is in his Yavin ceremony outfit with the brown pants and the holster, as well as the yellow jacket. This is an updated look. We've seen the Yavin ceremony Luke previously, however, well over 10 years ago. So this is a new and exclusive figure to this set. It looks great, and I really want to highlight that printed metal. You get 3 in the set, even though only 2 figures display with the medals on. So you do get an extra one. I think that is an absolutely awesome piece. So that's Luke. Next up is the other hero, Han Solo. This is a new and updated print as his Episode 4, New Hope outfit is slightly different during the Yavin ceremony. His shirt is different as well as his jacket, so you can see that updated print on the set. Then you have the blue legs with the holster, and again the medal. This is a dual-sided face. See kind of an angry look and then a regular look. Luke actually also has a double-sided face, a standard Luke face, and then kind of a confused, thinking face. Okay. Next up is Princess Leia Organa, another new and exclusive figure to the set, new chest, torso print, and then also a great hairpiece. This is a returning hairpiece, but it looks great. She comes with a silver blaster, and then she also has a dual-sided face, the standard Leia smirk, and then kind of an angry face. After that, we have a returning figure, General Dodonna. This came out in the X-Wing set alongside Luke and Leia, but a really good looking figure. And for those that missed out on him the first time, it's a great way to get him. Again, a double-sided face, and he fits in perfectly with the set. After that, we have Red Leader, Garvin Dryce. Really, really awesome helmet. Got a yellow helmet with new prints all over. Everything else is a standard Rebel pilot, standard torso and leg print, as well as the standard head print. So there's no differentiation there. But the helmet is what makes him special. The helmet is new. Looks absolutely fantastic. The other pilot we get in this set is Gold Leader, Dutch Vander, or Vander, is how you pronounce it. Again, standard torso and leg print, standard head print, but we do get a brand new helmet. Looks really great. Next up, we have a couple of classics. We have Chewbacca, R2-D2, and then C-3PO. All three of these are returning from previous sets. This Chewbacca's the standard Chewbacca we've gotten a million times. The R2 is the standard R2, but with the new back print. That's becoming standard in all R2s. And then we have the C-3PO, unfortunately, not the dual molded leg we saw. Then we have the C-3PO. Then we have the standard C-3PO. Unfortunately, it's not the dual molded leg variant we saw in the UCS Landspeeder, but it does have the arm printing on both sides. I think this is a really great C-3PO. However, I am of the opinion that if they have a really great figure out there, it should be the standard, although I can see the exclusivity argument. However, they did release the dual molded leg C-3PO on a keychain. So when you're considering that, it definitely feels like a slap in the face when you spend $170 and don't get the best C-3PO on the market. But it is what it is. It's still a good C-3PO. After that, you have R2-BHD. I believe this is Dutch Vander's droid, astromech droid for the Y-Wing. The silver droid, really great. No back printing, unfortunately, but a really great astromech droid. And for those that love collecting them, this is a great one to add. And then we have two Rebel troopers. We have the returning Rebel Fleet Trooper with this really awesome build here to signify the one that they use in the tower. And then the brand new Rebel Maintenance Crew, standard tan legs and the same helmet, but we do have a new torso print. And I'm not sure if it's a new head print, but it's cool to get the new color on there. But similar print as the Rebel Fleet Trooper. Okay, now it's time to talk value and final thoughts. So this set, at face value, at just looking at what you're getting and not talking about the price, you're getting 1,000 pieces. You're getting a really big build and 12 figures. That's awesome. And as play sets go, this is a great one. I know if I was still a kid and I got this, this would have been the perfect set to pair up against the Death Star that came out in 2010 and then I believe 2016. It's a really, really great base. It's a great location, which we don't get a lot from in terms of Lego Star Wars. It's mostly just starship builds. So to get an actual planet and landscape, and especially this size, is really awesome. However, the price tag is $170. So in terms of price per piece, you're way off. You're missing about 700 pieces right now. Price per piece isn't the only thing you should look at when it comes to value in the set. However, I don't believe that this set is big enough or provides enough to say that it's worth $170. The figures are great. However, I would have liked to see if they were going to add in a Y-wing build, add in an X-wing build to go with it, and that would have buffed the piece count to like 13 and 1400 pieces maybe. Or maybe add in a couple of different rebel troopers, whether it was a rebel trooper, maybe another generic pilot, maybe some differing maintenance crew members. Also, something that would have been cool to see is maybe some of the Rogue One leaders like General Draven or Senator Pamlo, or maybe a different Bail Organa figure. These are all figures that interact with the Yavin base at some point in time. Now, I know the iteration of this is looking specifically at the trench run, so I understand why some of those figures weren't included. However, it would have been nice to see a few more. If this was maybe 1,200 pieces and 15 minifigures, I think I would have a different opinion as to whether or not it's worth $170, but it's not. So I think what you're getting isn't quite worth $170. However, does that make it a bad set? No, not at all. I think sets like this, people should be getting. We don't get a lot of locations in Lego Star Wars, and I think this is one that was needed, and I hope it did well so that we get more in the future. However, the price I would probably pay for it, probably around $140. I think that would have been the right price point. And I did end up purchasing this from a third-party seller, and I got it for $120. So I definitely feel good at that price point. At the end of the day, great set, probably a little overpriced. However, if you have the chance to get it, and especially on sale, I say you probably should. Yavin 4 is just so iconic, and especially with Andor Season 2 out now, it definitely has a lot of relevance. So I think it's definitely one you should add to your collection. So if you liked the review, please let me know down in the comments. Give it a like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.